This video is the 3 of 3 training modules designed to prepare you for the role of Going Home Facilitator. Going Home is a family psychoeducation program designed to support family reunification after reincarceration. Going Home was developed by Dr. Corinne Datchi, a board-certified couple and family psychologist licensed to practice psychology in New Jersey and New York. After completing this first module, you will be able to describe the effects of incarceration and reentry on families, and how family members support prisoners before and after they return to live in the community. You will also be able to name the different components of Going Home and explain how to recruit and screen program participants. Lastly, you will know how to gather information about the family environment and how to measure the effects of the Going Home program on individual and family functioning. First, we will discuss the role of families during and after incarceration, when prisoners return home to their communities and loved ones. Incarceration and reentry are significant events in the life of prisoners and their families. Incarceration and separation from loved ones not only produce negative feelings like pain and anger, but also create pressure on families to reorganize. The familial roles and responsibilities of prisoners must be reassigned. They must decide who will now watch the children when the primary caregivers are at work, and how to compensate for the loss of income the prisoners used to provide. Families may experience new financial burdens, such as paying for gas to travel to the prison facility and visit their incarcerated relatives. Incarceration and separation also create new challenges. How will families maintain their relationship with loved ones behind bars? Maintaining relational bonds is complicated by the negative feelings, loss, hurt, and anger family members may have towards the incarcerated relatives. Likewise, when prisoners return home, their families must create space for them to resume their former roles and responsibilities, or to negotiate and agree on new family roles and responsibilities. Once again, families must reorganize and modify their routines, as well as reassign roles and responsibilities among themselves. Involving family members in reentry planning can enhance the success of prisoners when they return to their communities, provided family members and prisoners receive guidance and support in how to manage the challenges of going home. Families are a source of emotional and material support for prisoners during and after incarceration. Prisoners rely on their family members to put money on their commissary account, to pay for phone calls, or to visit them behind bars. When they are released, they also turn to their family members to ask for help with housing, transportation, and employment. Families who receive structured guidance and support are more likely to help prisoners connect with prosocial institutions, such as church groups and community-based services that will protect prisoners from further contact with the criminal justice system. What is Going Home, and how can it help prisoners and their families? Going Home is a family-based psychoeducation program that helps inmates and their family members prepare for family reunification and life in the community. Eligible participants are inmates who are within 12 months of their anticipated release date. They participate in going home with one family member who has been selected based on their ability to have prosocial influence on their incarcerated relatives. Going home is founded on the assumption that effective reentry planning begins when inmates are serving their sentence behind bars and depends on the maintenance of family contact and the strengthening of family relationship. Family members who participate in going home may be blood-related, cousins, aunts, grandparents, or informal kin, such as a significant other or a foster parent. Now that we know what going home is, let's look at the components of the program, its primary goals and activities. The primary goal of going home is to increase individual and family functioning in the community after inmates have been released. Individual functioning refers to employment, use of prosocial community resources, and participation in prosocial activities. Family functioning is measured in terms of communication and problem-solving processes, role clarity, and commitment to family roles and responsibilities. The activities of going home have been designed to strengthen family relationships in ways that increase inmates' investment in family roles and activities, for example, as caregivers or providers. Our assumption is the more inmates are invested and committed to their family roles, the less likely they will resume a criminal lifestyle. In sum, our belief is that the going home activities will activate the prosocial influence of the family by increasing family cohesion, reducing negativity in family interactions, and clarifying the familial roles and responsibilities of inmates and their relatives. To accomplish these goals, going home aims to engage families in the process of reentry planning and to instill a sense of shared responsibility for success. It helps inmates and family members understand that we're in it together and your success is my success. They share the positive outcomes of successful reentry. For example, when inmates participate in prosocial activities in their community, contributing to their church, coaching teams, they contribute to building the family's social capital and network of social support. When they gain employment, they also are less dependent on family members for material assistance. The Going Home program offers 5 types of activities. These activities are found in the participant handbooks and include written psychoeducational information about the main topics of each session. These are short paragraphs written in a language that is accessible to a broad audience. The participants are instructed to read the written information, and the Going Home facilitator clarifies the information, answers questions, and or facilitate a discussion of the reading. Journaling activities follow this written information and encourage participants to reflect on and apply the psychoeducational material to their own individual and familial experience. Participants write down their response to the journaling activities in the participant handbook. They are not required to share their responses if this feels uncomfortable to them. However, they are invited to discuss what they learn or what they think is important to remember. Discussing the psychoeducational material and what the participants learned from the journaling activities helps to assess the participants' understanding. It also helps to engage the participants in a learning process that is collaborative and supportive. Discussions offer the opportunity to communicate and connect with one another. They also aim to promote a sense of shared responsibility as inmates and family members work together on the Going Home activities. Skill building and practice are an important component of the program. They are intended to support the development of family resilience processes, such as communication and problem solving. The Going Home facilitator shows how to use the skills through modeling and coaches the participants when they participate in discussions and role-play exercises. Reentry planning is the cornerstone of the program. It begins with the activities of Session 4 and represents the opportunity for the participants to work together, to use the knowledge and skills they have been building in Session 1 through 3, and to agree on several aspects of everyday life in the community. The objective is to help the participants develop and mutually agree on a family reentry plan that clarifies expectations about family rules, rituals, roles, and responsibilities, that identify resources for social support and for social involvement in the community, and that will be used to hold each individual accountable. Going home consists of 6 60-minute sessions. The first session is an individual meeting with the inmate only, in which the going home facilitator orients inmates to the program and helps them understand reentry is not only an individual affair, but a family business, as discussed earlier. During the first session, the going home facilitator and the inmate draw a family genogram that will help them identify who in the family could participate in the program. It may be necessary to identify more than one family member who has the potential to have a prosocial influence before and after the inmate is released. Permission to contact eligible family members is obtained at the end of Session 1. The going home facilitator and the inmate discuss and agree on how and when they will contact eligible family members. They may do so at the end of Session 1 or between Session 1 and Session 2. Session 2 through 6 are group sessions with 1 or 3 dyads composed of one inmate and their family member. Session 6 offers the opportunity to celebrate the participants' completion of the program and to define it as an accomplishment. At the end of Session 6, each participant receives a going home graduation certificate. Assessment is an integral part of the Going Home program. It involves gathering information to inform program decisions and to evaluate the effects of the program on the participants. Assessment begins before the first session. The Going Home facilitator asks inmates who are eligible and interested in participating in the program to complete the pre-program assessment form. This form is used to collect data about inmates' family relationships and relatives. The data is used to determine whether particular family members are best positioned to play a positive role in the process of reentry. In Session 1, the Going Home facilitator helps inmates draw a family genogram. The purpose of this activity is to promote a relational view of reentry that places inmates in the context of their relationships with family members. It also allows for further assessment of the family environment. To evaluate the effects of the Going Home program on individual and family functioning, the Going Home facilitator asks inmates and family members to complete the program questionnaire before Session 2 and at the end of Session 6. The facilitator collects and reviews the questionnaire to make sure the participants have answered all questions. If not, they invite the participants to do so. At the end of Session 6, the facilitator also asks the participants to complete the program satisfaction survey, which provides information about the participants' experience of going home. All questionnaires and surveys are located in the facilitator manual. You now have a general understanding of the program components and are ready to begin recruiting participants. What are the steps? It is suggested that the facilitator of Going Home schedule an information meeting in which they describe the program and answer questions. In case of the group meeting, make sure the inmates have the opportunity to ask questions anonymously. For example, the Going Home facilitator may bring a question basket where the inmates can drop a slip of paper with questions about the program. Interested inmates may approach the Going Home facilitator or fill out a form to request more information or indicate their intention to participate in the program. Those inmates must then fill out a screening questionnaire that determines whether they are eligible. If they are eligible, the first session is scheduled, in which inmates identify the family members that will be contacted about participating in the program. Remember to obtain inmates' permission to contact family members. This marks the end of Training Module 1. Training Module 2 will describe the nuts and bolts of program implementation, and Training Module 3 will focus on skill building and practice. For questions about this module, please go to the Going Home Facilitator Group Discussion Forum on Google.